Hello, it is day 3 of the Daily Scoop. I am your host, Annie Sprinkle. Or as my friend Beth would say, Scoop's Lane. Scoop's Lane. That's my new name. Okay. I don't know, should it be Annie Sprinkle? Annie Sprinkles? Scoop's Lane? What do we think? Alright. Doesn't really matter. Because we're here to talk about ice cream and domestic violence, make this subject a little more palatable for us all, and learn a little something about ways we can all become part of the solution and help interrupt and intervene and put an end to this, or make a difference. Everybody can do a little something, and every day I'm going to just share some obvious and subtle ways we can all do something about it. So here's something really cool that happened. Here's the Daily Scoop. The flavor of the day is chocolate fireball whiskey. And the reason why I picked chocolate fireball whiskey is because that's a very complex ice cream to make. It's not just your typical recipe. So like that, domestic violence is a very complex issue. And everybody's story is unique. Every survivor's story is unique. Every victim's story is unique. Because we are all unique and our relationships are unique. However, there are things that are common also. And warning signs that clearly tell us the difference between a healthy relationship, an unhealthy relationship, and a potentially dangerous relationship or a dangerous relationship emphatically. So something cool that happened the other day, actually since I've been doing the Daily Scoop, and like I said, it's only day 3, and I didn't realize how powerful this was until I shared it with Jim and Zach this morning, and they're like, oh my gosh, somebody already reached out to you and asked you a question and asked if they could talk to you about this. They felt comfortable with you to do that, and it did happen. And it's kind of funny because it's somebody I know, but only through a circle of girlfriends. And you know, I never really got to know her. I've been in the same circles, like I said before. But she said, I wanted to talk to you if I could about domestic violence. And I said, sure, we can talk about that anytime. That's interesting that you brought it up, because I'm actually doing like a little thing on my Facebook page called The Daily Scoop. And I'm trying to get information out about it. And I'm really just sharing my own personal experiences and what I've learned and, education and stuff like that. And she said, well, yeah, that's how I heard about it. And I'm like, oh, how cool. So, no pun. But her story and some of the things that she revealed to me made me realize, that oftentimes healing takes a very, very long time. It could be years, it could be months, it could be days, it could be weeks. It just depends on the process and the support that you get when you're going through it and when you're on a journey to separate from abuse safely and heal your mind and your body and your spirit forever so that you can find love again, like I was so lucky to do. Some things that were revealed made me think of some past stories of victims in our community that really still feel that justice wasn't served. They're out, they're safe, they're over it, but they still feel like there's something missing and something that, just isn't quite right still in their life. And there's help for that. So I was able to say, I really think it would be useful for you to talk to someone. And I don't have any big initials after my name, PhD and the LSW and the LCS, all that kind of stuff. No, that's not what I do. I can point you in the right direction, and I can affirm your feelings, and we can share our own personal experiences, and I think that you can get a lot out of that too, but I'm not an expert, and I want to make that clear. And she basically just felt comfortable and safe talking to me. And I think that at that point, that's all she really wanted. And that's cool, too. So, anyways, I'm glad the Daily Scoop is helping, and I'm glad people are listening. And I'm going to share, the story I'm sharing today is, it's actually an essay, a speaking out essay that was published in the Democrat and Chronicle, December 22nd, 2010. So this is several years ago. I was actually, I collaborated on this essay. At the time, I was with Stand Up Guys, an organization I co-founded here in Rochester, and we collaborated with another organization, and we co-wrote this in response to the media's response to this particular homicide in our community. And we were we just felt like we needed to speak out. So we did, and they published it, and that made us happy. So I'm going to share this story, and then I'm going to read 3 myths and 3 facts. So I think that you'll kind of connect some dots after, hearing this essay we wrote, and then the story will probably be familiar to some of you, since it was right here in Rochester. And then maybe you'll connect some of the dots to some of the myths and the facts around this, and other people you know around you that might be going through this. And then another story I'm going to share today, and it might be going on a little long, but I think it's important to hear from men about this issue. And I think it's important for people to understand the effects that it has on children, and how sometimes we don't connect the dots until way into our adult life. So when we say domestic violence is far-reaching, that's what we mean by it. It's infectious, and it happens in subtle ways. So sometimes you never really connect the dots to it, or have a name to put to it. Like, oh, is that what domestic violence is? Okay, I get it. And you don't really get it until you hear someone's story. So the story I want to also share today is this from a man that I bring into my training classes via YouTube video, because I don't know him personally, although I would love to meet him someday. His name is Joe Torre. Some of you know him as the manager of the New York Yankees, and former manager of the New York Yankees, and the former manager of the New York Dodgers, and played ball earlier prior to managing. I never knew this. But he's also the co-founder of the Safe at Home Foundation in New York and City. And he's very involved in ending domestic violence, and he didn't get involved in this until, he was in his 50s. And he started connecting the dots to some things that happened in his childhood that made him real